Greetings, friends. Welcome back to another DreamWizard Plays. My dog got to say hello before I did. And it is return of the uber poofy Super Saiyan freshly showered wizard hair. Oh my god. This thing gets... So why am I late? It takes longer and longer to shower out this absolute rag, mop, top, whatever you want to call it. This tangled brush of brave hairdo, like from the movie. Anyway, so that's what's happening. It is, oh look at that, historical dream literature. Buy one of my books. I'm taking that off the screen. It is Doki Doki time. This is the DreamWizard's first blind playthrough of DDLC, the Doki Doki Literature Club. It's come highly recommended. Folks absolutely refuse to tell me anything about it, which I always take as a fantastic sign that I'm dealing with something very interesting and high quality. No doubt many folks out there have seen this game played before, in which case, hopefully you're just here to watch me be amusing in my reaction. So, fair enough. Oi, peanut butter. You say hello? Ow. No, he has a much more cute hello. What is one of the first things we're going to do? We're going to turn off the music, unfortunately, because it drives me bonkers to listen to music repetitively repeating. And I did some research recently because I was going to use the opening theme song. First, highly distractible. A toast to you. Ein Prosit, Kampai being most appropriate to this circumstance. Delicious whiskey juice. I was going to use the actual opening theme song to DDLC in the intro video. And I looked it up because I was like, can I do that? Apparently not. Apparently you can get DMCA striked for just letting the game music play in the background. Automatic censors will pick it up and you'll get your entire stream striked. So we're going to be playing this without the music for the most part. If they can pick it up at that level, screw them. But here we go. This is my first time playthrough, and it is viewer's choice. This time, this was the last viewer's choice until after the next one. Next one's Batman. That one's for me. I want to be Vengeance. I want to be the Dark Knight. I enjoyed playing 2 of the other Batman games, and this is the third one of that kind of trilogy reboot. Next time. Not next time, but next game. I also did stumble across the generic length of this game. It should be about 8 hours, so we're looking at today, tomorrow, next weekend. I'm just going to roll with it and see how long it takes to play it through. I've never played this type of game before. I've never played a text, novel, interactive, Japanime style game in my life. So I have no idea. Like for first-person shooters, you got strategies. You kind of know, you got your crosshairs and you got your weapons and you cycle through and different guns for different enemies. And, you know, you can do different acrobatics in the environment. I get it. Side-scrolling platformers, I kind of get it. I have no idea. This is an entirely new animal. I've never hunted this beast before. I don't know what I'm getting into. All I know is that people like to seem to like the cute anime girls, and I'm all about it. So let's make it happen. We're gonna launch up a new game, and this is Doki Doki Literature Club Blind Playthrough, episode number 1. DreamWizard Plays number 49. New game. Oh, we get to enter a name. Oh, well, my name is Benjamin. But do I really want to be Benjamin? Do I want to be Ben? Does anyone out there throw your recommendations in the chat? I could be anything. If there's anyone actually watching, which, you know, hey, a lot of folks tend to watch on the replay. That's fine with me. You can't be here live. Who knows? I don't have a consistent start time. I try between 4 and 5, but if I don't get any feedback soon, I'm going to go with something. My initial thought is not to go with my actual name. Could go with DreamWizard or just Mr. Wizard. I like Mr. Wizard, actually. I like that. Mr. Wizard. Can I put a space in there? No, you can't. They want us to use just a regular name. I can't make it. I kind of want to make them call me Mr. Wizard. I don't know. Just going with my actual name seems blasé. It seems bland. It seems like, why bother? Not very interesting or exciting. I mean, I kind of like Mr. Wizard. No one's saying anything in the chat, so no one's here. It's all up to me. I like Mr. Wizard. I'm just trying to say that a few times in my head. You should go with Benjamin TheDreamWizard.com. I very well could. I don't know, man. Why they got to give me a tough question right off the bat? I can't even make a decision. Okay, I got one. I just remembered one. One of the most famous Japanese swordsmen, Musashi Miyamoto, that was not his original name. His original name when he was growing up as a kid was Benosuke. And that is kind of like my name. We're going to go with that. For this playthrough, let's go with a Japanese sounding name. Benosuke. I think that's how we spelled it. Now I want to look it up, but I believe that is correct. Now I just feel pretentious. Now I feel like I'm putting on airs. Now it feels embarrassing. Yes, it feels more embarrassing than Mr. Wizard. I don't know what to do. I hate name yourself at the beginning of a game. I've spent in the past playing other online games. I've spent an hour, 2 hours searching for the right name because I was going to be stuck with it for the entire time I was playing, especially with the multiplayer online stuff. That's kind of growing on me now. Sometimes I just need a minute to see how I feel about something. It's also the end of a really long day, and I'm really tired, and I can't think straight anyway. So definitely we're probably only streaming for a couple hours tonight. And my voice was given out on me earlier from doing audio recordings. So if I got to read text to you guys, it might be a shorter playthrough on this particular occasion. I like Mr. Wizard. I kind of like Benosuke. Can't think of a better one. No help from the chat. Fair enough. Hey! Hello, Lauren. Test. 1, 2, welcome. You got any recommendations for names? I can't even. Go with Lauren. Yo, whatever that typed out just said. Where's the game? One viewer. I'll take it. Please enter your name. Please enter your name. Okay. Hey, thanks for popping in. Okay, I'm going to go with it. I needed a second opinion. I got one other person who says it's fine. Go with it. I'm going to do it. I'm clicking okay. I'm doing it. Oh, it happened. It's happening. Oh, I think I misspelled it. I see Benoske with no U. Oh, I thought it was with the U. Ah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. That's how I'm spelling it. Hey, someone says. All right. So I guess we just click through. I see an annoying girl run towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor, and a good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. I do know. I don't know. I don't know anyone that long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. Stream frozen. Shouldn't be. Are you seeing a frozen stream? The game capture is frozen on the main menu. It sure is. Oh, well, thanks for letting me know. What the hell was that? Turn that off and on. Looking for a game to capture. There it is. Hey, thank you for that. We'll see what happens. I don't know why it did that, but it sure did. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder how long I would have continued playing and not even looked over there. Jesus Christ. We used to walk together, blah, blah, blah. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. Is that going to be an option? Do I get the option to run away? Nope. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up with me. Oh, there she is. I want to pat her on her little head. Ha, ha, she says. I overslept again. But I caught you this time. Benoske replies, maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Oh, I'm an asshole. Why would I say that? Sayori says, you said that like you were thinking about ignoring me. Oh, your little face, I want to pinch it. I want to pinch your cheeks. That's mean, Benoske. He is mean. I'm not that mean. I didn't say that. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Oh, heaven forbid. Sayori says, fine, fine. Daijoubu. But you did wait for me after all. Oh, I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. I don't. That's true. I don't. I just can't. Can't do it. Not for real. Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. Sayori, by the way, Benoske, yes. Have you decided on a club to join yet? Mickey Mouse Wizard SOS. Oh, Tim, too late. Sorry if you're just catching up with the stream. I done did it. I think this was a good choice. Although Mickey Mouse is not a bad second choice. Have I decided on a club? A club, he says. I told you I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. Sayori, that's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did, in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Oh, this guy is kind of an asshole in his head. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Don't we all? Sayori, okay. Should I try a Japanese anime girl voice? I can't get my voice up there. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Not remotely winking at the hikikomori in the intended audience, huh? Your happiness is really important to me, you know. I did not know that. That's sweet. You're a sweet girl. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Do I? Don't make me keep worrying about you. All right. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Okay. Sayori, will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Did I win the game? I've made the girl happy? Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind, at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Such a tiny head. We're in the classroom. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Sayori is here. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. Sayori says, I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. Benosuke, you don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Sayori says, well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, No, what? Well, that you could come to my club. Oh ho ho. Sayori. Yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. Aw, meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Benosuke says, yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Sayori, come on, please. Benosuke, why do you care so much anyway? Sayori, well, I kinda told the club yesterday I would bring in new members. Oh, you did. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Cupcakes, I'm in. I might not join, but I'm coming to the club, and I'm eating a cupcake. It's happening. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake. Man after my own heart. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. We're in the hallway. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. and dropped my arm pad on the floor. I gotta have something to rest my arm on while I'm gaming. Dun, dun, dun. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Tim again says, "Happy Mickey Mouse SOS, you wish star." That's wonderful. I think that's nothing but positive well wishes, and I will take every single one. I've had a lot of people follow me on Gab, who are from China, I think. If you are from China, Tim Mowers, welcome. That is wonderful. I welcome guests from all over the world. And there you have it. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door, and we're inside. Sayori says, "Everyone, the new member is here." "Benosuke, I told you don't call me a new member." I glance around the room. "Girl number 1, welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you." "Girl number 2, seriously, you brought a boy?" "I'm just a nasty cootie infected boy. It's true. Way to kill the atmosphere." "Girl number 3, Benosuke, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club." I may have titled that. Scratch that. Strike. Reverse. I may have titled the episode that. I think I did. I stare and say nothing, apparently. All words escape me in this situation. That is 3 pairs of eyes staring at me, expecting me to say something. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Well, not such a mistake after all. Where's the cupcakes? Girl number 2, what are you looking at? Nothing. If you want to say something, say it. Yeah, where's the cupcakes? Sorry, I mumble. Natsuki. Humph. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. Ask her where's the cupcakes. Sayori says you can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Well, I said it out loud. I didn't know that was supposed to be whispered. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri. Of course she is. The smartest in the club. Yuri says, don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. I say, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And Sayori says, it sounds like you already know Monica. Is that right? Monica. What kind of a name is that for a Japanese girl? Monica? Is that right? I don't know. I'm suspicious because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. It can't be Monica. Maybe it is? Monica? N-I? Monica? Ni. I is E. All right? Monica? Monica? I'd probably say Monica. All right, I'm saying it Monica. Monica says, that's right. It's great to see you again, Benosuke. Oh, she flounced very nicely and smiles sweetly. What a doll. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Okay. Monica was probably the most popular girl in the class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. Yeah. So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... Benosuke, you too, Monica. Sayori, Come sit down, Benosuke. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monika. I'll get the cup. Oh, she did! There are cupcakes! Natsuki says, Hey, I made them. I'll get them. As you wish. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Yuri chimes in, Then how about I make some tea as well? That would be lovely. Let's have some tea. The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened, so there is one space next to Monika and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. I thought they were going to give me a choice, and that is what I was going to choose. The girl I know, it makes sense. Then again, am I supposed to be playing... Oh, Tim says, yes, you. Maybe that means yes, you're watching from China. Hello and welcome. Ni hao. I probably butchered that, but I'm trying. I show respect by trying. Am I supposed to play this game as me? Or am I supposed to play this game role-playing as if I'm an awkward high school boy? Because I am me, and I was an awkward high school boy. There's two ways to look at this. One is you sit next to the girl you know, you've been childhood friends, she makes you the most comfortable in the group. But if you sit next to her, are people going to think she's your girlfriend? And you don't want them to think that, or that you're closer friends than you really are. So maybe you go sit next to the club president. Put some distance between you. That is way too much second guessing. They didn't even give me a choice, but since I've never played this kind of game before, and it is a game, and I'm going to have to make choices, what's my strategy? Hell if I know. Choose the options you like the most, says Lauren. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I've tried to role play a character before, and I can never keep it up. I can never stay in character. So I'm going to make decisions based on what I think and feel, and I'll explain them as I go. I'll tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm not going to fake it. I can't. I could start trying and I would quickly fail. So that's all you got to do, she says. Thank you, Lauren. So I sit next to Sayori. That's enough rambling out of me. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Look at that smile. She's really proud of her cupcakes. Ta-da! Oh, no. Oh, whoa, says Sayori. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. Of course. Well, show me the cat cupcakes. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make the ears. Sayori says, so cute. Monika says, I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Natsuki says, well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monika. I follow. Sayori, it's so delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. Oh, she's anticipating. What am I going to think of her cupcakes? I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. Benosuke, it's really good, I said around a mouthful. Thank you, Natsuki. Natsuki, why are you thanking me? It's not like Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Ooh. Natsuki continues, it's not like I made them for you or anything. Benosuke, I thought you technically did. I mean, Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for you, you, dummy. All right. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. Benosuke says, you keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Yuri responds, don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Indeed it does. Oh, and she's blushing ever so fetchingly. I respond, I guess. I get a feeling Benosuke doesn't read many books. Monika says, don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Oh, it's not that. Insulted, Yuri looks away. She's not insulted, she's embarrassed. Yuri says, I mean that, I reassure her comfortingly. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. Yuri is heartened and says, I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monika raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. This one's a troublemaker. I don't know why, but she's a troublemaker. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monika that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... Monika says, that's okay, don't be embarrassed. Monika says, well, we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I respond, Monika, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you leader of the debate club last year? Monika responds, well, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. Love Heart Princess. Yeah. Is this your favorite character, Tim? She goes on, and if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Sayori pipes in, Monika really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. I reply, then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. Monika says, you could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Excuse my belches. Ate a sandwich about 2 hours ago, coming back to say hello. Monika continues, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yay, says Sayori. We'll do our best, says Yuri. And Natsuki says, you know it. Well, at least she seems like a competent leader, even if she does have a disturbingly neutral face. I don't know. If I'm going to get into trouble with any of them, which one's the secret? Which one's the secret? She's going to hide. She hides knives. She's like the crazy. Which one's the crazy one? Or are they all crazy in their own way? I'm totally guessing based on what I assume are tropes. I don't want to know. No spoilers. It would be fun to find out they are each uniquely crazy in their own way, and that was the whole point. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I got my eye on the little one though. She's that tsundere style. I don't know, not like a care or anything. Angry girl. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why we're all so delighted. That's why they were all so delighted by the idea of any new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. Yuri says, "So, Benosuke, what kinds of things do you like to read?" Well, manga. I don't know. Considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. He said it. Manga. That's what I said. I mutter manga quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Yuri says, not much of a reader, I guess. I respond, well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Yuri replies, well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. She is the shy, quiet type. Gotcha. Yuri goes on, but, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? I'm kidding. Inklings of foreshadowing here. Yeah, it is amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Dun, dun, dun. I respond, I've read a horror book once. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Monica chimes in, really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, Yuri says, I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Yeah? Natsuki says, ugh, I hate horror. Yuri replies, oh, why's that? Natsuki, well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind, she says. Monica says, that's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Natsuki. My mouth is getting dry. I'm not drinking enough whiskey. Natsuki indignantly responds, what? What gives you that idea? Monica says, you left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud, says Natsuki. And give that back. Monica says, fine, fine. Sayori jumps in. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. She's gonna give me diabetes, this one. Oh my goodness. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. Natsuki says, I'm not cute. She says cutely. I say, Natsuki, you write your own poems? She responds, well, I guess, sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? Natsuki says, no. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. Yuri saves the day. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Monica says, do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Yuri looks less confident and says nothing. I jump in to fill the awkward silence. I guess it's the same for you, Yuri. Sayori says, "Aw, I wanted to read everyone's poems." We all sit in silence for a moment. And Monica says, "Okay, I have an idea, everyone." Ears perk up around the room. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Natsuki, Yuri, Sayori is more enthusiastic. Yay, let's do it. Monica says, "Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club." Of course it will. Isn't that right, Benosuke? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. I respond, "Hold on, there's still one problem." Monica says, "Eh? What's that?" Now we're back to the original topic of me joining the club. I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. Oh, they're all so crestfallen. Oh, all four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Monica is the saddest of all. Oh, her knees are buckled a bit. But, Yuri, I'm sorry. I thought... Natsuki, Sayori, Benosuke, you all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, their eyes light up. They bounce to their tippy toes. Sayori says, yes, I'm so happy. She wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. I say, hey. Yuri says, you really did scare me for a moment. Natsuki says, if you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. And Monika says, then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone, says Monika. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Benosuke, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hee hee, she says, flouncing again, and I say, yeah. Can I really impress the class star, Monika, with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside of me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. So much reading! Oh, my mouth is getting dry. Sayori says, hey, Benosuke, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! And we walk home together. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. Oh! Okay. I hit a button and it made something disappear. I'm not going to hit that button again. The whole way home, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Is it nighttime already? It's time to write a poem. Pick the words you think your favorite club member will like. Who is my favorite club member? I don't know. What does my gut say? What is my type? I like the super friendly, kind of motherly girl next door. I like the cute little Spitfire, and I like kind of the shy, mature, older, thoughtful type. I like them all. I mean, they're designed to be likable. So, what am I supposed to do? Flip a coin? I'll take audience feedback. I don't know if anyone out there has a favorite. I'm willing to go with it. I'm kind of equally divided. What does my heart say? Where's the doki doki feeling? I don't know. Okay. I'm kind of drawn to Yuri. I'm going to say it. She seems so quiet and reserved, and I want to make her smile. She's so like anxious and thoughtful and pensive, and I don't know, something about me. Call it Captain Save-A-Ho. I don't know. maybe I just want to make her smile, and that. What is it that she's gonna like? She's gonna like big words like entropy. I mean, that's a word she'd know. The other ones, maybe not so much. They're very enthusiastic, but they don't seem very bright. There you go. I was right. Uh, she mentioned fantasy. I listened to it. She likes fantasy, but she likes romance too. But I'm going with fantasy. Really? Really? She didn't say anything. Well, she didn't say anything at all. Is she gonna... This is a trick question. I'm gonna go with suicide, thinking it's her. It is her. Okay, okay. Sparkle seems like Sayori. Heartbeat is probably Natsuki. Together is probably Sayori. Graveyard. I'm going to go with Graveyard. She looks like a gloomy Gus that would like a graveyard. There we go. She also seems like someone that might like Sunset, but that seems a little more generic. Fireworks is also a little too generic. Despise seems like something Natsuki would say. I'm going to go with Portrait. Nope, Calm. Oh, I was off. I was off. Anxiety definitely seems like her. There we go. And Hopeless. No! Why would that be her? Misery. Misery? Okay, wait, I'm getting a trend. Hopeless, Misery. She's the depressed one, but depression went with her. Destiny. That's going to be her too. Damn. I'm going with Destiny, and I think it's her. I think that's a word she would like. Yes! What do we got here? Also, misfortune. I mean, there's a theme going, but it's going to trick me. It's going to trick me. It's going to be one of the other two. I knew it. I knew it. So there's things about her where it's like, it's dark. It's darkness. It's suicide and misfortune. Oh. There's things I don't want to bring up. This is another trick question. I think fester is a word that only she's going to know because the other ones just aren't that bright. We're going with fester. Yeah. She's the smart one that knows tough words. I feel like I should be picking up on a theme. I feel like imagination goes with Natsuki. I feel incapable is going to go with Sayori. I think embrace also feels like it's going to go with Natsuki, but I'm picking embrace, going for Yuri, but it's going to come up Natsuki. Oh, it's her. Wow. All right. She's complicated. She's got a lot of depth, that one. Sadness is going to take us right back to this girl, right? Kitty. This will be Kitty, right? That's another trick question. I picked Kitty and it's not her. Unstable. I'm going with unstable for Yuri. Yes. Wow. Intellectual. There we go. Analysis. Another big word. Yep. Okay, I'm getting a trend here. Philosophy. Another big word, another kind of fancy word that maybe a lot of people don't know. Starscape. Yep. Whirlwind seems like another one, but incongruent or tenacious. I'm just going with my gut now, following that intuition. Okay, this one might be wishful thinking. We're not going to think about that. Another big word, vertigo. There we go. Yep. Just find all the biggest words. Determinate. This one doesn't have a lot of big words on it that people wouldn't know. I'm drawn to determination and memories. Hey, all right. Treasure. Oh, I was wrong. That's okay. We're back in class. Monica says, "Hi again, Benosuke. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha." She thought I would. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Yuri approaches. Thanks for keeping your promise, Benosuke. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Well, she's a sweetheart. Natsuki pipes up, "Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it." Yes, ma'am. Monica says, "Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room." Ooh, she wanted to speak up and say, "I like manga too," but the president had to out her. Ooh, brutal. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. I agree, young lady. I agree. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. "Don't worry, guys," says Sayori. "Benosuke always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room." Yuri says, "How dependable." Aw, she likes a knight in shining armor. I reply, "Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once." Oh, Sayori's a little embarrassed. "Is that so?" Yuri says, "You two really are good friends, aren't you?" I might be a little jealous. Well, you go right ahead and be a little jealous. Sayori says, "How come? You and Benosuke can become good friends too." Yuri looks pensive. She looks flustered. I reply, "Sayori." Sayori says, obliviously. I say nothing. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. But then she says, "Oh, Yuri even brought something today, you know. Brought you something today." Okay. Yuri says, "Wait, Sayori." I say, "Me?" Yuri says, not really." Sayori, "Don't be shy." Yuri, "It's really nothing." I reply, "What is it?" Yuri says, "Never mind." Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do?" Sayori says, "I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking." I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. I say, hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Yuri says, is that so? I say, yeah, I won't make a big deal if you don't want it to be. Yeah, cats climbing on things. Got cats everywhere. Gets cats in my raccoon wounds. Yuri says, all right. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. Yuri says, I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. I say, Yuri, thank you. I will definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Yuri, looking relieved, says, phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. And I have hair in my eyeball. I have hair all over me. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Yuri says, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. Yuri says nothing. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Quickly, I say, sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Yuri says, oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so I say, what's the book? That's the book that you gave me, right? She says, mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it, not for any particular reason. I say, just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Yuri replies, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. Oh no, bring it back. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I say I'll definitely start reading it soon. Yuri says, I'm glad to hear. Belch, says the DreamWizard. Yuri continues, once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so, I say? What's it about, anyway? Yuri says, well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye on the front cover. Yuri says, "All right. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away." Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison, and while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. I respond, that's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. I saw the darkness. I saw it in there. She says, "Ha ha ha," chuckling ever so cutely. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden, and then says, "Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Benosuke?" I say, "No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kind of stories, so don't worry." She says, "I hope so." Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. Maybe she's the crazy one. Oh, what if she's like into some really, really dark stuff, and she's actually just kind of embarrassed that anyone's going to find out that she's actually quite depraved on the inside. Oh, well, that's entirely possible. She is so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. She says it's just that those kind of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then, suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. I say, "Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything." She says, "Well, I guess it's all right then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much." I didn't think she talked that much at all, but man, she gets on a roll. I reassure her by saying, "I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all." Oh, she's a little cute little blush looking at me there. That's true," she says. "In fact," I reply, "I might as well get started reading it, right?" Yuri says, "You don't have to." I say, what are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it." Oh, she's awkward and conflicted. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I had put into my bag. "All right, it's fine if I sit here, right?" I say. I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. She says. "Yeah," I say. "Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive." She says, I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone." "I see," I say. "Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything." And Yuri says, "All right." I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. "Sorry," she says. "I was just..." "Hey, Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?" She says, "I do? I don't really mean to." And she apologizes again. "Sorry." I mean, I laugh in her face. "Here, this should work, right?" I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. Yuri says, I suppose so." Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold open the book. I say, I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page." "Here," says Yuri, and she turns the page for me. And now I know what clicking the other button does. It gets that out of the way so I can see. And there it is. We're holding the book together. Very charming. Now I did see... I'm going to talk for a minute while I pour out some more whiskey, because my mouth is getting dry again. You know when your mouth is getting dry, you plenty high. A little bit of water. Can't just be drinking straight whiskey juice. You did see, of course, the intro video I cut together. So I did find a video of the full game played out. I didn't read any of it. I just found enough clips to go with the piece of music. So this was one of the clips. I did, spoilers, I did know this scene was coming. I didn't know what the context was. But apparently it's happening, whatever it is. Oh, some delicious juice. We are indeed reading a book together. So be it. It's very nice. Here we go. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I say. I do the same with my right arm and the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Yuri says, "Are you ready?" I say, "To turn the page," she says. "Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second." I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. Oh, she's distracted too. Look at those cheeks. Look at those little rosy cheeks. She's blushing. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. Yuri says, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me." I reply, yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it over her own thumb. Under her own thumb. I say, "Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit." She says, "You think so? How does she?" "Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses a lot of the things she says and does, like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. Yuri says, I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But, Benosuke, she says, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. I say, wait. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. Yuri says nothing. I continue. I guess I'm more meant that it's kind of cute. Yuri says, nervously giggling. What are you saying all of a sudden? Monika saves the day. Okay, everyone. Yuri, whew. I don't know if she's relieved or frustrated. A frustrated panic, like an opportunity was lost. Monika continues, I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Says Yuri. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Oh, she was relieved. Monika caught that exchange and says, Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Yuri says, Oh, that's not... It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. I say, All right, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read with you? Yuri says, I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. I respond, In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? Yuri says, That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. All right, I say, and stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Monika approaches, saying, By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? I say, Sure did. And thus my relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Monika says, Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? Sayori says, I can't wait. Sayori and Monika enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monika wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monika's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I'm getting froggy. It's happening. They reach into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? I guess I kind of picked a girl. I kind of like Yuri. We're gonna show it to Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. Yuri makes a face and says nothing. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional, she says. I say, Huh? What was that? She makes a questioning non-statement. Did I say that out loud? She says. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Excuse me. She says. She continues. He's going to hate me, she says in parentheses, somehow. I say, what? You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. She says, eh? I say, she says, I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Ha 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 ha. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. I say, really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. She says, huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. And again makes a non-statement statement. Well, I know that, she says. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, she says, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Yuri says, of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a single poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes together with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. I say, biased? How? Yuri says, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. I say, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. I say, do you mind if I read your poem now? She says, please do, very excitedly. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? What do we got here? I'm just going to read it to myself for a minute, and then I'll read it out loud. Okay. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good poem. I'm not even saying like for Yuri, the character, as a teenage girl to write. I'm just saying that's just a good poem. I'm not big on poetry, but I like it. If you get it, and I don't mean just me or you, but I mean specifically me or you. If it gets you, you get it. And that's a good poem. That's a good poem. She makes another non-statement statement. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. I was able to read it. What? I wasn't thinking of that at all. I wasn't thinking that. It was fine. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? She says. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it was short, it was really descriptive. She says, it wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all, I say. She says, I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, says Yuri. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Benosuke says, are you into ghosts, Yuri? Yuri says, ha ha. I guess she's saying, uh-huh. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost. Maybe she said, But it was written, Hugh, ha, ha. Maybe it was a laugh? I don't know how to read that. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Benosuke. Really? I say. I must have totally missed the point. Yuri says, well, I suppose you did only glance over it, after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. I say, that's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. I did think of that. But Benosuke didn't. That's impressive, I say. She says, eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah, I respond. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. She says, oh, you think so? Blushing, fetchingly again. I say, yes, of course. Yuri says, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Benosuke. Well, you just do that. I say, me too. Who should I show it to next? That's a good question. I should show it to Sayori. We're gonna put Monica at the bottom of the list, as she is. She's the leader of the club, but I'm not here to brown nose. I don't want to leave Natsuki out. She seems a little sensitive. I don't want to put her last. But I don't want to put her next, because that puts her on the spot. I know Sayori better than her. I'm trying to read the social dynamics. I'm glad I have time to think this through. I would take this long to think it through in real life, at which point people would just be staring at me as I thought to myself for a full 60 seconds now, saying nothing, before going over to Sayori. Sayori says, empty statement. This is a good poem, Benosuke. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course, I say. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? She says, I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, she says, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course, I say. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. Sayori says, see, it's like I said before, Benosuke. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Oh, she's very wrapped up in being a good person, isn't she? Of course, I awkwardly respond, thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Sayori says, yeah, and I'm going to make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. I say, all right, I'm going to hold you to that then. She says, yay, a little too enthusiastically. Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Hee hee hee, she blushes and giggles. I say, we'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleep from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Okay, that took a fantastic turn at the end. That's nice. That's nice. I say, Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? Busted! Look at her face. No, she says. just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question, I say. And she responds, I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Sayori says, don't be mean. I still tried to do my best. I say, yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? She says. Yeah, I say, especially that last line. I made eggs and toast, she says. See, this is another character that makes me suspicious. She is so enthusiastic. I feel like there's a heart. There's a dark heart in there. There's something she's covering up with this enthusiasm. It's a little forced. It's coming across a little forced. Benosuke says, even though you were late to school. Sayori says, it's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. She says, hee hee. This was so much fun. Well, I'm glad she enjoyed it. Monika's the best. Yeah, I say, non-committally. Sayori says, but next time I won't forget. And I'm going to write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I will look forward to it, I say. And Natsuki. Not going to leave her for last. Hey, girl, what's up? She says nothing. I say nothing with a question mark. She says, Benosuke, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? I say. Harsh. She says, what, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? Oh, she's not just feisty, she's defensive. She's ready to push people away before they could even have a chance to hurt her. I say, look, I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Oh, scored. I got her. Got her. Got her attention. Got her interest. Got her. I say, is that painful to think about? I'm dishing it out as good as she is. Fine, she says. Well, sorry. But then, actually, kind of nicely, she says, you'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what, to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough, I say. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, she says, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Maybe I will. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Aww. She's so hurt. She's hurt on the inside. You can feel it. All she can do is try. She doesn't have the natural skills of any other animal. She's just doing the best she can. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Natsuki says, yeah, I told you that you weren't going to like it. I say, I like it. She says, what? Just be honest. I am, I say. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? She says, well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. I say, but isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Natsuki says, yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. I say, yeah, I understand. Natsuki continues, but the other nice things about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps to bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did, I respond. I guess more went into this than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro, she says, humbly. I'm glad you learned something. Oh, look at who's getting all full of himself. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? I said, yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Fair enough. This is interesting as a game mechanic. Who should I show my poem to next? There is only one person. The list has expired. There is only one choice. But it still makes me click it. And it doesn't go forward into that conversation until I click it, until I choose to do so, which is an interesting thing. It's a forced choice, but it gives me the power of when to do so. I don't know how I feel about that. I almost feel like it should have been and automatically load the last person. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Maybe because the imagery is so static, I'm inventing more things to find interesting about the game. Although it does give me more time to analyze the mechanics and kind of think my way through it. There's not a lot of fast-paced action happening on screen, demanding my attention and reflexes. This is more of a slow thinking process. I don't mind. I don't mind. Monica, how you doing, girl? She very enthusiastically says, "Hi, Benosuke. Having a good time so far?" I say, yeah. She says, Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Very welcoming demeanor. All right, I say, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going along with the flow until I'm more settled in. Monica says, Monica, I'm just going to end up calling her Monica, whatever. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, I say, but I guess I have to. She gets all cutesy and says, Tee-hee-hee. Don't worry, Benosuke. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. I say, yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. She says, good job, Benosuke. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. You sure did. I say, it's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Monica says, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. Monica continues, you know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? She does? I had no idea. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice. And a motorcycle out the window, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I respond, I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Monica says, don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I reply, I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. That's another nod. That's another nod to the gamer. I like it though. I like it. I go on and say it could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. Monica says, that's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Cutesy flounce with another giggle. I respond with a giggle of my own. Monica says, anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Sure do. Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good, I say. She responds, well, that's 'cause I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in a wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything, a hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. and he, on the other side, was looking in. Ooh! Ooh! That's super creepy and dark. Hole in the wall. She's a voyeur. Or she's ashamed of voyeuristic tendencies. She's not taking responsibility for the hole, but she's going to exploit the fact that it exists. And she regrets her decision, and she's permanently changed by it. Her retinas are scorched permanently. Copy of the meaningless image. She gazed into the abyss, and the abyss gazed back. She got some issues, this one. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I like it. I do like it, though. So, she says, what do you think? I reply, it's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Monica says, oh, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. I say, what was the inspiration behind this one? Caught her. She didn't expect that question. Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany, I say? Yeah, she says, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about this is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening. That's what I say. I say thanks for listening. Benosuke says to himself, phew, I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monika are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. Excuse me again. More where that came from. That was a poem by the DreamWizard. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. Natsuki, what's with this language? Yuri, eh? Did you say something? Natsuki says, oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Yuri says, thanks. Yours is cute. Natsuki says, cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about a feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? Yuri says, I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Natsuki says, eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? What a bitch. Don't be such a bitch. Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Yuri says, well, I do have a couple suggestions. Natsuki says, humph. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Benosuke did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, Yuri says, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. Natsuki says, Yuri says, and Benosuke liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Ooh, catfight. Yuri says, eh? Oh, got her embarrassed. That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Benosuke appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Natsuki angrily responds, ha! And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? Yuri says, No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Natsuki, over the target. Oh, she says. Sayori jumps in to save the day. Oh, clearly cutting the tension with a knife. She says, is everyone okay? Natsuki says, well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Benosuke started showing up. Yuri says, Natsuki. Monika jumps in. Natsuki, that's a little. Nat and Yuri, this doesn't involve you. Oh, they're kicking her out. Sayori says, I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turn towards me as if they just noticed I was standing there. Oh, I should have left a long time ago. What was I thinking? Benosuke, says Yuri, she's just trying to make me look bad. Natsuki says, that's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should just jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Benosuke. Yuri says, wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Benosuke? I say, the fuck you put me in this position for? Well, they both say. I say nothing, expressively, in a non-statement statement. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whomever I agree with, they will probably think more highly of me. I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm phoning a friend. Help me, Sayori. Benosuke says, Natsuki. She glares at me. Wait a minute. What happens if I hit history? I swear I clicked help me, Sayori. And then I said Natsuki. Why would I do that? Is this game fucking with me? I have not saved the game once. That's probably a mistake, and I've passed a first decision point here. Yep. Look at that. Oh, this whole way. Well, empty slot. Here you go. So be it. Multiple pages of empty slots. Oh boy. Natsuki glares at me, drying up any words I had in my mouth. So instead, I turn to Yuri. Yuri, she looks away. But Yuri's expression is so defenseless, I can't bring myself to say anything to her. I say nothing. Sayori, I call for help to save the day. Eh? She says, clearly uncomfortable to be brought back into this. Yeah, I say. Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Guilt trip on both of them. Look at that master ninjutsu move. Sayori says, Pinosuke. Oh, and I warmed her heart a little. I'm being like defending on her behalf. And Natsuki comes out of the gate swinging. Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. Yuri says, I agree. Ooh, it's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri what a stuck-up jerk she's being. Excuse me. Yuri says she would never. It's your immaturity that made her upset in the first place. Excuse me? Oh. Are you listening to yourself, says Natsuki. This is exactly why nobody likes Sayori. Screams, stop. They both STFU. Natsuki, Yuri, you guys are my friends. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people, and I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poems, they're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone is so talented. So why are we fighting? What a peacemaker. She's going to find a reason to stay angry. Because, well, oh, shut him down. Shut him down. Sayori says, also, Natsuki's cute and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's boobs are the same as they always were. Oh, big and beautiful. Oh, poor, flat is justice, but big is beautiful. It's true. They're both wonderful. Don't lose your shit, girl. Oh, they're both awkward and uncomfortable now. You just went too far, Sayori. But you won. You won. This is a Sayori victory. Monika stands behind her with a bewildered expression. Yuri says, I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. Was that the right decision? I didn't want to take sides. I didn't want to tell either one of them they were right or wrong because they were both right and wrong. So I brought in this girl, and Yuri went off to make tea to keep herself busy while she thinks to deal with her embarrassment. I'm a little more worried about Natsuki. Blank expression. Maybe she's processing as well. I think I made the right choice. I think that was the ninja master move to not take sides, because why was I going to make one girl feel worse than the other for no reason? Even if I got a little thing for Yuri, that's still not right to do that to Natsuki. Natsuki was being a little bit of a defensive bitch, but still. Maybe I should have told her that. Maybe that was an opportunity for her to grow. Maybe that was the direction to go. Like, calm down. You started off way too sensitive about this. And yes, Yuri, you got a bit of a big head. I would have told them both off a little bit. But I also like Sayori's resolution of, I don't want my friends to fight. You're all amazing. You all do great work. It's true. It's true. And it's worth saying. And that did kind of settle the deal. Benosuke says, so this is why Sayori is vice president. I whispered to Monica. Monica! Whatever. Monica! She nods in return. Okay, so she sees the skill of my friend. It isn't just a nobody else wanted the job situation. Monica says, to be honest, I might come off as a good leader, and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. As president, that's kind of embarrassing of me. Aha. Nah, I say. It's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, she's got a little blush going too. Maybe she's not such a bad gal after all. Well, says Monica, I guess that just means Sayori is amazing in her own ways, isn't she? You could say that, I say. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. Oh, and Monica gets blushy, flirty, flouncy again. I see, says Monica. Take good care of her, okay? Oh, she's reading into it, but whatever. I would hate to see her get herself hurt. Okay, that makes two of us. You can count on me. Monica smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little more. Maybe another time. And Monica says, okay, everyone, it's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? Sayori says, it was a lot of fun. Yuri says, well, I'd say it was worth it. Natsuki says, it was all right, well, mostly. Monica says, Benosuke, how about you? I say, yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome, says Monica. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you learned something from your friends, too. So your poems will turn out even better. I say nothing. I think to myself, I did learn a little bit more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Sayori says, Benosuke, ready to walk home? I sure am. Let's go. Yay! Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. La 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 la. Sayori, I say. About what happened earlier. Eh? She says. What do you mean? I say, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? She says, no. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? I say, no, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Sayori says, phew! You know, Benosuke, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you getting along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. I say, that's... She says, every day is going to be so much fun. I say, sigh. I actually say, sigh. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. Oh, what a shady character I am. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Sayori says, okay. Yeah, I say, Let's do this. And there it is. I think I'm going to call it for the night. It is time to write another poem, but we are going to save. Excuse me. Excuse me again. It looks like it has saved. I clicked the spot. It saved. Do you sure you want to overwrite your save? No, it's saved. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it for the night. My voice is going out on me. That's about 2 hours. I figured I could hang in there for the long haul. If I have judged correctly and I am playing according to the pacing of the average player, we're about 25% of the way through the game here, in my estimation, about 2 hours in. We'll see how it goes. Very interesting so far. So strategy-wise, I have heard a little about these type of games. One famous instance where if you attempted to court, to pitch woo to all the girls equally, you fucked up. You had to kind of pick one. And if you wanted to play through and win the heart of a different girl, you would have to pick that girl on a second playthrough. Trying to romance all three equally at the same time, or four in this case, was a recipe for disaster. Now, I don't know if that was just that one game that I heard about that one time, or if that's kind of a typical mechanic of these story games. Never played them before, so not lying when I'm saying this is my first time playing this game, playing any game of this kind, but I'm familiar with the genre enough to know there are some tropes. I'm familiar with the genre of anime and manga and some of the tropes that go along with that. The different types of girls, the cold one but with a warm heart, the one who's a little too enthusiastic but she's an airhead, the one that's really angry on the outside but it's because she's kind of tender and soft and trying to protect her tendency to get her feelings hurt. Anyway, I'm rambling and my voice is still going. I'm gonna quit for the night, and we're gonna pick this up again tomorrow. Should be back around 4 p.m. ish, I hope. I don't think I got anything else going on, just working on videos and editing books and playing video games. So I'm going to say, hey, thank you for watching. One more time. Where is it? Ayo, look at that. I got books for sale. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, buy my books, all that good stuff. Doki Doki Literature Club, DreamWizard Plays, episode 49. Doki Doki DDLC episode 1, blind playthrough, first time. This is the end of that session, brought to you by the DreamWizard's own historical dream literature collection, available on Amazon. Get that off the screen. And I'm going to start turning off sound and buttons, and I'm going to say, hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.